Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Veda, welcome back to part 2 of checking in on buzzword goals. Let's just jump right in. So yesterday we talked about Buzzword-a-thon, put on by Kayla from Books and Lala, and that is where you pick a specific word or word type and you have to read a book for each of the prompts. So today we're going to do BuzzCover Challenge, and these are all books that I read for this challenge, or maybe not even for this challenge, but I'm using it for this challenge. Going forward, I would really like to be better about picking my books and sticking to them, but let's get this started. So the BuzzCover-a-thon is a new challenge where you have to find something specific on the cover and use it for the prompt. So for January it was a pattern, any kind of pattern. So I picked a Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. It has all the hearts floating around it. I actually ended up hating this book and realizing that I think I've read like 4 books by Megan Quinn and not liked any of them. So I don't think Megan Quinn is an author for me. That is okay. I think it was around Valentine's Day. I think the book took place in Valentine's Day, but I believe it was the first book I read this year. It was fine. Then there's A Skyline. This was the rom-com by Devin Daniels. This was fine. It felt like it was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like play-by-play. And at first it was really cute because I was like, oh, I love that movie. Oh, it's so good. But I don't know. It felt like it was just a play-by-play of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and I honestly prefer the movie. Then in March, the prompt was to have a book or books on the cover. For that, I read Love in the Time of Serial Killers. That cover is iconic. I love that cover. Unfortunately, I did not like the book, so I was pretty sad because, yeah, I didn't like it and I felt gypped. But I can see why people would like it. Maybe it's like true crime elements with cozy romance, and I don't know, for me it just felt too cozy and not like enough oomph, if that makes sense. Then for April's, we had to pick a book with an animal on the cover. For that one, I read Butcher and Blackbird, and I am pretty sure that I read these in the correct months. There's birds on the top of the cover. It was fine. It was actually really enjoyable. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, which means it was good. I just don't see myself finishing that series. And you know what? That's okay. I don't need to. It was fine. I really liked the accidental cannibalism in there. But it's dark. It's like a stalker romance. I've learned some very interesting things about myself including that I like stalker romances sometimes. I don't know. This was dark, but it was like stalker and serial killer and prey, and I don't know, it had a lot in it. I would definitely check the trigger warnings, but I enjoyed it. Not enough to finish the series. I'm not a series girly, so that's not that surprising. Then in May, the prompt was Eyes. So for that one, I read Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. I'm pretty sure I actually read it in February, March-ish, and it was for May's, but I'm counting it, it's fine. I really love that cover. Let's go on to the next one. For June, it's Celestial. So I listened to Jackal by Aaron Adams, I believe. This was fine. I don't like young adult books, so I should have known that I wouldn't like it because it's a young adult book. And it's like more thriller than horror, but I thought it was more horror. It's about like this missing girl, I think. I don't remember it very much. I know that I was very bored though. July's BuzzCover. You're supposed to read something with technology, so there's like a, headphones and radio, like a speaker and on air, and she has a phone. So there's a lot of technology on here. This is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I loved this. This wrecked me. But I did read it more. I started it in July, but I didn't finish it until August. So I read more of it in August than I did in July, but I'm still counting it for July's pick. And I just love it. Welcome to Heartstrings, Baltimore's romance hotline. So he's a hopeless romantic. She's a hopeless romantic, and he is the host of a radio show, and he kind of doesn't like believe in love because he's heard so many things on the radio because he's a radio show host. It's kind of like a Sleepless in Seattle remake, kind of. It's a Sleepless in Seattle inspired love story, and oh my god, it was so good. This made me sob. The found family in here, the Seattle setting. Oof, I kind of want to watch Sleepless in Seattle again because it's been years. But loved this book. If you missed the vlog, I'll send you to that vlog. It was part of Veda. So if you've been watching Veda, then hello, you already know my thoughts. Okay, then what's the last one? August is Transportation. On the cover for that, I read Wedding Dashers, which is in the same reading vlog as First Time Caller, so go watch it. But Wedding Dashers by Heather McBrain. That's a train or a subway. Either way, I think it's a train, but here comes the bridal party. They meet. They almost have a one-night stand. I think it would have been better if they actually went through with the one-night stand. Just saying. But they learn that they're going to the same wedding, and all their transportation, like the airplane, the train, everything just shuts down for reasons. And then they have to get there to the location of the wedding, which is her sister's wedding and his best friend's wedding. They've never met, but instantly sparks fly, but sparks in the wrong direction. They hate each other for no valid reason. They just don't like each other, and then it's like for forced proximity. It's like, this was hilarious, but it has big heart too. So I very much so enjoyed this. That means that we only have 4 other ones left. There's September, which I think I want to read See You Next Fall by Annabelle McCormack. This is a friends to lovers contemporary romance. So they have a standing date in October where they hang out. Like, they're best friends. They always take a trip together in October. Sorry. The rules between them are crystal clear. Sex is off the table. Honesty is paramount. meet the first week of October every year. But I think it turns into more than just friendship. So there's that. Then October is a weapon on the cover. Some might say I'm cheating, but I don't have like a gun or a knife or a sword because I'm not into fantasy like that. So I might have stretched this prompt, but I don't think I did. So for a weapon on the cover, I'm going to be reading Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. He is holding a hockey stick. Hockey sticks, yes, they are sports equipment, but it can be used as a weapon. I'm counting it. I don't care what you say. But this is swoony, spicy romance. He is my brother's biggest hockey rival. So it's a hockey romance. Not brother's best friend, brother's rival. Just sounds great. And then she is captain of the volleyball team. And that's all I had to know. So there's that. Then food and drink on the cover. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. But it says food or drink or food and drink on the cover. This one does not have a drink, but it has food. So I'm going to count it. And I was actually supposed to read this in June as part of TBR Knockout, which we're going to be talking about in tomorrow's video. But I'm going to be reading A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kazuko Jackson. This is a LGBT plus romance. Sometimes two cooks in the kitchen are better than one in this swoony romantic comedy. So Xavier got dumped and was passed over for a fellowship that he really wanted. So now he's back home, and he didn't want to be back home. But now, I don't know, Logan is the, like, chef at his own restaurant. He owns his own restaurant. And he hires Xavier to be a prep cook. And Xavier doesn't want to be a prep cook, but he's in a time in his life where everything is not going correctly. You know, it's not going well for him. So, this is their, like, hate to love romance, and I'm actually very excited for this. I wanted to read it in June for TBR Knockout, which was like an LGBT book, because June is Pride Month, and I sucked and I did not read any books. This was the one I wanted to read, but for some reason I didn't. So hopefully this will help with TBR Knockout and BuzzCover-a-thon. It's just a little late to the game. But in November, I will be reading this. Fingers crossed. And then December is monochromatic cover, so it's like one color cover. Like, I was kind of thinking about, you know, like this. Yeah. Like Where's Molly? But I've already read Where's Molly. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. But I've already read this. But it is on my TBR because I want to reread it. So this is a contender, but I'm sure Editing Alita has already put a few floating books up here as other options, because this is the only option I have, and I do want to reread it, but I'm not sure if I want to reread it right this second. I mean, I guess I'd be waiting till December, so that might work. I think I'm gonna put The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King on this for December's monochromatic prompt, because you follow this girl who loves Tom Gordon, who's a baseball player, I believe, and she goes off the trail when her brother and her mom are fighting. So she's like, fine, I just want to get away. So she cuts through the forest, but then she can't find the path again, and she just goes missing. And it's a very small Stephen King book. If I remember correctly, there are some scenes in here that really stayed with me. And I remember saying after, oh, I was kind of like disappointed by this. It wasn't scary, but the longer that it's been since I've read this, I read this several years ago, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, ew, that was gross, or ew, that was scary. Like, especially now as a mother. Maybe that's the key difference. When I read it several years ago, I was barely a college student. Kids were not in my eyesight at that point, but now I'm a mother who has a career, and I'm just like, college life is over. So I think it was more of, it didn't really connect. I didn't connect with it at that time. I was like, whatever. It wasn't scary. As a mother, your child going missing, that is terrifying. So I would like to give this another shot. So I guess in December we'll be reading that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm glad we got to catch up a little bit on some of my reading challenges. This is going to be for the rest of the year for BuzzCover. And don't forget to give me any recommendations that's better. It's kind of like First Time Caller, or even Wedding Dashers, but First Time Caller, like, stellar 6-star book. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. I would definitely swoon over First Time Caller. Anyways, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video.